G'day guys, welcome back to the Mitch Does Coffee YouTube channel. I recently received a comment saying that they would like to see the same coffee used as an espresso and as a filter and then explain the taste differences because, well, that does sound pretty interesting. Now, before I can do that, I need to explain a couple of things because this probably isn't going to make a lot of sense until I explain this. Because typically you have three common roast profiles, light, medium and dark. This will usually be a reflection of which brewing method the coffee is designed for. Now, this doesn't mean that a dark coffee is only for espresso or that a light coffee is only for filter. However, in my personal experience and my personal taste preference, I usually do enjoy a light roast as a filter coffee and a medium to dark roast as an espresso. Now, this isn't always the case, as some freaky light roasts are amazing as an espresso and some darker roasts have been okay as a filter. I'm not big on dark coffee. Now, bouncing off this knowledge, it has been a lot of fun to play with a roast that is designed for both filter and espresso. Now, the name that I've been hearing being dropped for this type of roast is slowly becoming a little bit more common, but I'm personally not going to publish it as it's fairly confusing and I prefer to keep the comments below about the subject we're actually talking about. Now, the beans we're using today are an Ethiopian Guji from our friends up at Black Mass Roasters in Brisbane. Absolute legends. Check them out on Instagram. I'll chuck a link below. Their Instagram is sick. Got to check them out. Now, I've had these exact beans every way you could think of: espresso, pour over, tricolate, with milk, black, hot, cold. It's amazing. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is the taste difference between an espresso and a filter using these beans. These results will obviously be different depending on which beans you're using, but that's pretty obvious. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to make coffee. Okay, so we have a beautifully extracted espresso and a delicious pour over, which I've kept the cup on top to preheat the cup and keep the beverage nice and warm. Now, this coffee has tasting notes of plum, watermelon and vanilla. Let's try these coffees and see where we go. I think the smart thing to do is start with the pour over because, well, it's going to be a lot less intense. And even though I'm going to sip in between to get a little bit of a cleanse, the espresso is going to be very overpowering. So we'll start over here. Let's go. Oh yeah. Lots of watermelon in the smell. Yeah, plum, definitely like that very deep, like acidic taste in a plum. Getting no vanilla at all. It might when it cools down, but right now we're not getting any. Oh, still very nice. So, bit of a cleanse. Let's give the spro a go. So I'm definitely getting more of the plum. A little bit of that watermelon, nowhere near as much, but definitely getting the vanilla quite a bit. So while the pour over is hot, not getting any of the vanilla, we're getting vanilla out of the espresso. So this will change as it cools down. This will do nothing except get worse as it cools down. So probably don't do that. For a longer enjoying coffee, this will be fantastic. I dare say if you were to brew this with milk, that is going to change this profile quite a bit. A lot of that vanilla will just come through as very much sweetness. You're probably not actually going to get vanilla. And I feel like typically with a citrusy flavor like watermelon, even though it's a sweet citrus sort of flavor, I shouldn't say it's a citrus, but it has those sort of acidic flavors about it. When you add milk to that, it can actually become quite a nasty flavor in my opinion. This one doesn't really do that. I have had it with milk. But the same coffee brewed two different ways, tasting similar. They both definitely have the plum, but the vanilla on the espresso and the watermelon on the filter. So that is a cool little experiment. They're both delicious. I'm gonna go and drink both of these because they're great. And I haven't had enough coffee today, apparently. That's it. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you want me to try this with a different coffee. And if you haven't noticed, the Lamazocco that was here is no longer here, but it's gonna be back very soon for some very, very cool upgrades. So stay tuned for that. Parts are on the way. Cannot wait to have that thing back on the bench, doing what a good machine should do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have yourselves a great day and happy brewing.